Quarter 4, week 1, day 1. We are doing a subtraction problem and a addition problem. All right, and we have decimals, so we're going to have to line up the decimals. So let's do it. We have 7,390.7 minus, okay, and then we'll have to put a 0 here, 874. Okay, so we're subtracting that. Okay, so we can't take away 4 from 0, so we're going to have to borrow from this 0, which we can't. So we're going to have to borrow from this 7 and make it a 6. This 0 becomes a 10, but we're going to borrow from that and make it a 9. And then this stays 10. 10 minus 4 is 7, is 6. And then we have 9 minus 7, which is 2. 8. You can't take 8 away from 6, so we're going to have to borrow from the 0, which we can't, so we're going to borrow from this 9 and make it an 8. This 0 is a 10, but we're going to borrow from that and make it a 9, and this becomes 16. So 16 minus 8 is 8. 9 minus 0 is 9. 8 minus nothing, 3 minus nothing, 7 minus nothing. Bring down the decimals. So we have 7,389.826. So 7,389.826. That's the answer to the subtraction problem. Let's do the addition problem now. All right, so we have 843.48. All right, we're going to have to line up this decimal. So we have the point here. We know there's a 2 on this side of it. And there's a 4 here, a 9, an 8, and a 2. All right, so we have the decimals lined up, which is good. 8 plus nothing is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. 9 and 4 is 13. 8 and 8 is 16. Plus 1 more is 17. And 2 plus 1 is 3. We'll bring down the decimal, put the comma. So the addition problem is 3,737.68. All right, let's move on to the next problem. Okay, we are going to fill in the blank. We have 3,450 milliliters is equal to how many liters? Well, the conversion is there's 1 liter for every 1,000 milliliters. Or you can actually say for 1 milliliter, there's 0.001 liters. Okay, so there's a couple different ways you can look at it. But let's just go ahead and go from 1,000 to 3,450. So to find out how many 1,000s go into it, you're going to take 3,450 divided by 1,000. And that's going to equal 3.45. So basically, to get from 1,000 to 3,450, you're going to multiply by 3.45, right? Because that's how many thousands you can get out of 3,450. And of course, if you're going to do that with the milliliters, you're going to have to do the same thing with the liters. So when we do our very, very complicated math and multiply 1 times 3.45, we're going to end up with 3.45. All right, so it's going to be 3.45 liters for every 3,450 milliliters. So that is our answer, 3.45. All right, let's go on to the next one. What is the value of 6x squared plus 4x plus 8 when x equals 7? Well, we just have to plug in a 7 in place of all the x's. Okay, so we have 6 times, well, x squared is now going to be 7 squared. I'm putting it in parentheses to just kind of separate it, plus 4 times x. Well, now that's going to be 4 times 7 plus 8. All right, well, following order of operations to solve this, we look at parentheses. Well, there are some parentheses. The only one that really has anything that can be solved is right here. So it's going to be 7 squared. Is that 7 times 2? Nope. It's 7 times 7, which is 49. So now we have 6 times 49 plus 4 times 7 plus 8. All right, so now we have basically just multiplication and addition left. And so we do have some multiplication right here and right here that we can do before we get to the addition. So we have the first one, which is 6 times 49. And that is 294 plus, well, instead of rewriting the whole thing over and over, I'm just going to do this one real quick. 4 times 7, which is 28, plus 8. Okay, so now all we have left is addition, so we just go from left to right. We have 294 plus 28. That equals 322. And then we add another 8 to that, and that gives us 330. Okay, so once we put 7 in for x and then solve it, we have 330. List 3 values that would make this inequality true. All right, so we have y plus 7 is greater than 18. All right, so we have to get this y by itself over here, and the only other thing on the left side of the inequality is the number 7. So we have to subtract 7 because we have addition. Remember, we're going to do the opposite operation. So if you have 7 of something, to get rid of it, you have to subtract 7 of it. So let's do that to both sides. We have y on this side is greater than a positive 7 and a negative 7 are wiped out. So there's nothing left there. Then we're just left with 18 minus 7, which is 11. So if you just say this then in your head, y is greater than 11, okay, then it has to be a number that is bigger than 11. Can it be exactly 11? Well, no, it can't be exactly 11, right? Because that would have that little sign underneath it, and that's not what we have. We just have the regular greater than sign, okay? So we're not going to have that little line, so y has to be greater than 11. So can you include 11 in this situation? No. Okay, so y is greater than 11, so it could be 12, it could be 13, it could be 14, it could be 15, it could be 16, it could be 102. Any number that is bigger than 11, that would be one of the 3 possible values that you could put on that line. All right, let's go on to the next. Okay, a one-day movie rental at Redbox cost $1.39. Okay, so if you just rent it for one day, turn it back in, it costs $1.39. For each additional day, there is a fee of 50 cents. Okay, so if you got it for 2 days, what would happen? Well, you'd have the first day would be $1.39, and then the second day would be 50 more cents. So you just add those together, and that would be your total cost. So each day after the first one is just 50 cents. So it says, how much will it cost to rent a movie for 7 days? Okay, that's interesting. So we have day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. How much is it going to cost for the first day? $1.39. And then each day after that is going to be 50 cents. All right. It's going to take longer to write all this and talk about it, of course. So 50 cents and 50 cents. So how many days are we paying 50 cents? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days that are 50 cents. Every 2 of these days ends up being $1, right? So for day 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, looks like it's going to cost us an additional $3. $1, $2, $3. So to find the total cost, we can just take $1.39 plus $3, and that's going to give us our answer, which is $4.39. So you just have to be careful when you read this to find out exactly what you're doing, because the first day is going to be a different cost than all the rest. Okay, and you don't want to do $1.39 times 7, right? And you can't do 50 times 7 because they're not all going to be 50 cents. So you just have to read it carefully, figure out how to do it, but the math is still pretty easy once you do that. All right, there we go. So $4.39 would be your answer. All right, find the volume, length times width times height. So I rewrote them down here. We have 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 more is 7. So it becomes 7 over 2. 2 just becomes 2 over 1. And 9 times 3 is 27 plus 1 more is 28. So we have 28 over 3. Can we do any cross-reducing or anything like that? Yep, we can do just a little bit of cross-reducing. Okay, we'll use yellow here. So 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 28 14 times. All right, is there anything else we can reduce? Doesn't look like it. So across the top, okay, we're going to do 7 times 2, which is 14. And then 14 times 14 is 196. So we have 196 on top. Then we have 1 times 1 times 3, which is 3 on the bottom. 196 divided by 3 is 65. So 3 goes into it 65 times, but not exactly. So if we take 65 times 3, that gives us 195. So we've used up 195 of the 196. So how much is left over? 1 is left over out of 3. Okay, so our answer for this one is 65 and 1/3. And since we're doing volume, it's inches cubed. Okay, not inches squared. Inches squared is area. Inches cubed is volume. All right, so now we are going to draw a line plot to correctly display the data. I already made a line plot, so now we just have to plot it. Okay, so how many ones do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. How many 3s do we have? We have 1, 2 3s. How many 4s do we have? We have 3 4s. So we have to put 3 X's there. How many 8s do we have? How many 12s do we have? Okay, we definitely have what's called an outlier on this one. But all right, so we went ahead and plotted this, and we'll utilize that outlier later. All right, so we need to find the mean, median, mode, and range. Okay, the cool thing is they did give us, right up here on the top, they did give us all of these numbers in order from least to greatest. So to find the number in the middle, the median, that shouldn't be too hard. We can just go take it off each side, until we find the number in the middle. Okay, so it looks like we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side that we crossed out. So the number in the middle is 3, so the median is 3. All right, so then we have also the mode. Okay, the one that happens most often is the mode. Okay, so we have 4 1s. We only have 2 3s. We have 3 4s. We have 1 8 and 1 12. So which one happens most often is the 1. So 1 is our mode. The range is the highest number minus the lowest number. So what is 12 minus 1? That is 11. So the last thing we need to find is the mean. And the reason why I left that for last is because that usually takes the most amount of time. We just have to add up all the digits and then divide it by however many digits we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 digits, so we're going to add them all up and divide by 11. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. We have 12 plus 8 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and that equals 42. So if we add them all up, that gives us 42. Now we take 42 divided by 11, and that gives us 3.8. So the mean is 3.8. All right, that's how we found all of them. And by the way, the mean is not going to be a good center for this one because of this outlier. It's going to skew the mean off to the right a little bit. Okay, so probably the best one in this situation would be to use the median. All right, so that's how we made a line plot, and we found the mean, median, mode, and range.